So I want to thank everybody for attending today. I want to again mention that this is an open Q&A session. So if you have questions, please ask. It's an interactive lab today. We're going to focus on Agile automation, and you know, Agile is the hot topic of the week, the month, the year. But Agile is really usually, when you think of Agile, you usually think of Agile design. And the issue here is that Agile design without Agile testing, without you know, the automation of testing so that you can test at Agile speeds, is a failure. I was just recently talking to someone I know at a major telecom company. They were creating a cloud-based application, a monitoring application for cloud system, and they could develop it at Agile speeds. He was responsible for the program, and they could develop at Agile speeds, and there was no issue with the development side, but the testing was not done in an automated way. It was manual, and it fell further and further behind because it got more and more complicated to be able to test it manually. And the problem is that because of the delay in testing, they missed their delivery windows, and when they missed their delivery windows after a few releases, the company canceled the program and fired them all. So that is going to become, I think, more and more common, that people realize that it's the overall solution that has to happen at Agile speeds. And so we want to talk about Agile automation. We want to talk about automation as it extends to what's needed for Agile, which isn't just automated execution anymore. It's not just the ability to say use Selenium or QTP to automate execution, but you really have to have a complete solution. And in this case, we're going to talk about pulling user stories from Rally, making sure that the requirements are captured so that you know what those are, you validate those, you understand that you've got the coverage that you want in terms of testing, and then you automate the rest of the flow. The idea is that if you don't automate the design, you don't automate the test design, you don't automate the delivery or creation of the scripts for execution, and then automate the execution, you just flat out aren't going to be fast enough. Because the whole idea is that you need to do this in a couple-week sprints. If you don't do it that fast, and I'm not talking about unit testing, I'm really talking about integration testing, you really can't test that the different elements that are being created by the developers work together. And what's going to happen is a couple weeks later, or a month later, or 2 months later, it gets to a QA group that finds out that they don't work properly. And you have to go back and you have to do fix-it sprints. But by then you've done a lot more development on top of what you're trying to test. And it gets very complicated and slows things down. And if you have a hard time to market, you can fail. And so what we really want to talk about today and want to show today is really an Agile testing solution. It's Agile automation in the full sense of what's needed to be successful with an Agile program. And just to give an introduction, I've skipped over this. I'm Clark Cochran. I'm responsible for Americas for Conformiq. I'm in our headquarters in San Jose, California. But the key speaker today is Harish Kodai. Harish is one of our specialists out of our Hyderabad office in India, so I'm thanking him for being on in his evening to present to all of us. And we also have Stacy Dreyer, who is head of our marketing and responsible for this lab and our webinars. And Stacy's on, and please, if you have additional questions, follow up, any other actions you'd like as a process after this lab, please reach out to Stacy and she'll make sure that all the right people are connected so we can get back to you. So I want to thank everybody for being on, and I want to turn over the demo and the discussion to Harish. So thank you, Harish, and thank you for everybody.
Thanks, Clark, for the quick introduction. So hi everyone. Today lab is about Agile automation regarding Rally requirements to Selenium execution. from getting, suppose if you have a requirements in Rally, from getting the requirements from Rally, after importing those requirements to Creator, there we will develop the model. From the model, we will develop the test cases, we will develop the test scripts. From there, we will execute the scripts. This is from end-to-end lab. Today we are going to discuss. Yeah. So this is the agenda of today's session. First, we will give the introduction about Conformiq, and after that, we will go with the interactive demo, and final one is a QA session. Yeah. So if you see here, yeah, Conformiq will provide you the complete automation of end-to-end testing process. Means getting the requirements from any management tools and developing the model. After that, generating the test cases. After that, generating the test scripts. After that, execution. So if you see, suppose if you have a requirements in any BPM model, or if you have a requirements in Excel, or if you have a requirements in Gherkin, so we have a provision to import those Gherkin files or BPM models into Conformiq. So Conformiq will automatically gives you the test cases. From there, it will give you the automated test case. Or else you have a requirements in any requirement management tool. So we need to import that requirement. So based on that requirement, we need to develop the model. So after that, same again, we will generate the test cases. We'll convert those test cases into automated test scripts, and we'll do the execution. So after that, after successfully executed the test cases, again we will export those test results into any test management tool, or else if you want any manual test cases you want to upload to any test management tool, Conformiq will gives you the solution for this. Yeah. So these are the three major solutions Conformiq addresses. First one is design test cases fast enough for in-sprint progression testing. Suppose we are in in-sprint progression testing. I want development is also going on. Again, at the same time, I want to develop the test cases. So Conformiq tool will help you to develop the test cases at a time in sprint progression testing. Next one is enable continuous test execution during development sprints. Developers are developing their code, and at that time only we need to start the test plan and every test cases preparation and everything. After successfully developing the application, directly we will jump into the automation process, and we will execute those test cases and requirements. Next one is seamless link islands of automation of existing tools. Suppose if you have any existing tool, suppose if you have some requirements is available in application lifecycle management. So Conformiq will allow you to import those requirements into the model, and after that successfully converting those models into test cases. So we have a provide to export those test cases into again any type of management tools. Next one fills in missing piece of testing. Automate execution of existing manual test cases. Suppose you have a large number of automated manual test cases available in any Excel test suite. So after that, after some time you want to you decided that you want to go with the automation. So if you do manually, it will take a lot of time. Suppose if you take Conformiq tool, what we will do is just we will import those manual test cases into Conformiq tool, and after that it will convert those test cases into whatever the test execution scripting language you want. We will provide to you, and it will convert to the scripting languages. From there itself you can execute those test cases. Next one, deliver known and comprehensive task coverage including full documentation and traceability for improved product quality. After successfully developing the model, so it will give you the clear detailed documentation. If you want HTML documentation, it will give you. By default, it will give the traceability matrix also. So if you create traceability matrix manually, it will take a lot of time. But using a single click of a button, the Conformiq tools gives you the manual test case and automated test scripts as well as traceability matrix also. Next one, use a common easy to use interface to integrate new testing tools without replacing existing tools. Same like suppose after successfully generating the test cases, you want to export those test cases into any management tool. So using Conformiq, so it will provide you some of the management tools, so you can export those test cases to any management tools. So Conformiq task design is in 3 easy steps. So what we will do is just we will capture all the requirements, like if you have any web page or any type of Conformiq will support you the all type of domain. It is a domain agnostic. So based on that, suppose if you have a web page consists of some buttons and text boxes. So what we will do is just we will capture those requirements and we will form the diagrammatic graphical model capture. So after that we will load that entire model into the Conformiq engine. So after that, if you click a single one button click, the Conformiq will gives you the all the test cases. If you want to go with the automation, it will gives you the automated test scripts. So after that, using single click again, it will do the execution. And also it will provide you the full documentation regarding the test results. Each and every step, all the results will be displayed in the tool itself. So these are the main things Conformiq eliminates regarding to the manual process, designing and maintaining the test cases, writing executable task scripts. Suppose if you write any type of executable task scripts, it takes a lot of time from converting manual test cases into automated task scripts. So using with Conformiq tool, we will using a single button of a click, the Conformiq tool will convert all the test cases into executable task scripts based on the requirement. Suppose if you want to go with the Selenium or else if you want to go with the UFT execution, so we need to provide the details whether you are going with the Selenium or UFT. So based on the selection, all the test cases will be converted into the particular task scripts. And maintaining requirement traceability. Same, no need to develop the traceability again. So by default, it will gives you the traceability matrix, and also test documentation and transferring information between STLC too. So after that, successfully generating the test case or executing those test results, so we can export those test results to the any management tools. Yeah, this is the full end-to-end STLC tool integration. Suppose here I have a requirements available in HPALM or Rally or IBM Doge or any Microsoft products. So you can import those requirements into the Conformiq. Or else if you have a existing assets in the form of Gherkin feature files, iRise models, or Visio files, or WSDL files, or else if you have some Q2P object repository you have. So what we'll do is Conformiq will try to import those all the existing assets and it will analyze those assets and it will by default it will give you the model. And also after successfully generating the model based on the requirement, so we will provide you the PDF document or HTML document, or else if you want plain Excel test suite. So using that, Conformiq will gives you the Excel manual test suite also. After generating the test cases, you want to export those test cases into any requirement management tools like HPALM, Rally, or IBM. So Conformiq will provide you to export those test cases into any these type of test management tools. Yeah. So this is the final execution phase. So after successfully generating the test cases based on the requirement, suppose if you want to go with the Selenium execution or Cucumber execution or Q2P execution. So based on that, Conformiq will gives you will provide you all the scripts. So using this, we can execute the test cases. So and also Conformiq is tightly coupled with Git repository. Suppose if you want to do any version change mechanism, the Conformiq will by default will provide you the Git repository. So this is the end-to-end Conformiq 360 degrees test automation, from getting the requirements from any task management tool and developing the model and generating the test cases. So after that, converting those test cases into any type of automated test scripts. So and the execution.
Harish, I want to just interject one thing here. Knowing who the audience is, I know there's been some interest in BlueWorks, and we did a review of that input or their output formats, and it looks like it's about a 2-week effort to integrate so those existing assets can be imported into Conformiq. So we can carry on a discussion separately, but I just in this lab, I just wanted to mention that that is yet another tool that we've looked at. Rhapsody import is another one people have looked at. We continually have interest in integration with additional tools. It doesn't seem to be that there's any limit to the interest. The key here is that all those little green arrows indicate open APIs to the Conformiq tool itself. So it makes it very straightforward for us to integrate with additional third-party tools and to maintain the integration to those third-party tools, because it's not just something where we do it once and then, you know, as those tools come up with additional revisions, we don't include that. Once we start the support, that will continue, you know, until it's not needed. And so there's a lot of commitment that we have to maintain these integrations, and they're not just interfaces; they are general tightly coupled integrations. And so we add these integrations as needed by customers, rather than just trying to have everything that's possible under the sun and maintaining that. It's really then driven by specific customer needs, and we time that to those needs. So this is one of the key benefits. We're going to be talking about a lot of speed for agile testing at the speed of an agile development process. But one of the key underlying needs for that is this tightly coupled integration, because as soon as you put a manual step, if you were to take that arrow out and make it manual, that would kill your ability to be fast enough. It would kill your ability to be flexible and to do automatic updates when there's a change and impact analysis. I mean, so it really is key underlying the entire process flow we're going to talk about today, that you understand that there's this completely integrated environment that matches to the testing tools that you have in place today. So thanks, Arish. Sorry for derailing your discussion. No.
Yeah.
If I could just ask one question, this is Peter.
Yes, please. Yeah.
So this representation of all these integrations, so are these kind of like out of the box? Are they predefined and ready for use?
Yes. So these all are the ready for use.
Okay. And what form do they take? Are they REST? Is it a REST API or?
Depends on the tool.
Okay.
They vary all over the place, but that's in large measure, yes.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that makes sense. Thanks.
Yeah. So yeah, now I will quickly jump into the live lab session. I will. Today I'm going to develop the model for a sample net banking application. So here I have some login page. So in that login page, I need to test with credentials. So here I am entering the credentials and password. So after successfully navigating to the home page, so what I need to do, these all are all the available links. So I need to test each and every link. So if I click any account link, so it will go to the account page, and I need to test these all the fields. So today in this lab session, so I am going to develop the model for this requirement, and we'll see. So after that, now I have a requirements available in Rally. So if you see this is a Rally management tool. So this is my project name, sample sub project B. So here I have a two requirement. So one is login successful and another one is invalid login details. So I need to test these two requirements, and I need to develop the model for these two requirements. Yeah. So now I will quickly jump to the tool. Yeah. So this is the Conformiq task design tool. So if you see, this is a by default window. If you see, there are some windows are available. Yeah, first one is Project Explorer window. So in this window, what we will do is just using this window we can create the new project, or else if you have a existing project, so using that you can import those existing project also, and if you want you can export the particular projects available in this window. And if you see bottom left side, there is a test cases window. So using in this window, whatever the test cases generated for regarding to the model, all the test cases will be available in this particular test cases window. And if you see top middle, there is a test targets window. So in this test target window, it is like say traceability matrix, how many requirements are we developed and how many test cases are generated for the particular requirements, how many requirements are covered. So all the details will be available in this test targets window. And if you see there is a bottom middle, there is a test cases tabs window. So this is the sequence chart window. It will display all the sequence chart messages, what we are sending to the application under test and what we are receiving from the application under test. So all the details will be displayed. So using this test cases steps window, so we can see which step is missing. So we can easily visualize the particular flow of our requirement, and we can easily find the any missing flows here. So if you see top right side, there is a model browser window. So this browser, this window is very helpful for the subject matter experts and business analysts. So why? Because if you select any particular test case, so whatever the test case flow in that particular model, all the flow will be displayed in the diagrammatical representation here. If you see it, bottom right side, there is a progress panel window. So there are 3 buttons available here. First one is load model, and another one is generate test cases, and another one is export test cases. So using first one is load model. So after successfully creating the model, what we need to do is just if you click this particular load model, whatever the model we develop, entire model will be loaded into the engine. So while loading the model into the engine will analyze all the requirements, all the test targets. If there are any decision conditions, all the condition will be analyzed while loading the model. So after successfully loading the model, so next step is the generate test cases. So while if you click generate test cases, what Conformiq engine will analyze, it will make sure that all the test targets are covered and all the test cases will be displayed in this particular test cases window. And final one is export test cases. So export test case is nothing but, suppose if you want to convert those generated test cases into manual test suite, or else you want to convert those test cases into test scripts, automated test scripts, or else if you want to export these test cases into any ALM tool or Rally management tool. So we have a plugins for that. We need to add that plugin, and if you click off a single button, all the test cases generated from Conformiq will export it to the particular management tool. Yeah. So now today we are going to show the net banking model. I will just wait. I will click. Yeah. So this is the folder structure of the any project. So we have a project name. So after that we have a here folder called requirement providers and under model. So in this model we will develop all the models. And now, so today lab is about importing the test cases from Rally management tool. So after that we need to develop the model for that. After that we need to convert those test cases into Selenium executable scripts. So then we need to do the Selenium execution. So for that we have provided one requirement providers here. If you right click requirement provider, there is a new button. So we need to go to the requirement provider. So these all are the available requirement providers as of now. Suppose if you have a requirements available in Excel requirement, or else you have a requirements available in ALM, IBM DOS and ROL. So we need to select that particular requirement provider. So today we are going to import the requirements from Rally requirement provider. So for that here I selected the Rally requirement provider. We need to click finish. So if you click finish, whatever the requirement provider we selected, that requirement provider will come onto the requirement providers. So what we need to do is we need to select that particular Rally requirement and we need to go to the properties. So if you open the properties, all the details will be displayed, whatever the details we need to give. So what we need to do is just we need to give the particular rally's host URL address. So after that we need to give the username password of the particular project. So I'm giving my username and password. So after that I'm giving my password. So after that we need to click on sign in button. So if you click on sign in button, what it will try to do is it will try to connect to the Rally host, and it will try to get all the detail from the particular username and password details. So it is getting sign in. Yeah. So if you after successfully getting sign in, it will display all the available workspaces for your username and password, all the available projects for your username and password, all the details will be displayed here. See. So here I have three workspaces in for regarding my username and password, workspace 1, workspace X, and another one. So have a requirements available in workspace X. So after that we need to select the particular project. So my requirements are available in the sample project B. So after that what we need to do is just we need to click select. So after that we need to click OK button. So if you click OK, the properties are successfully attached to the requirement provider. So if you see there is a bottom, there is a requirements window here. So in this requirement, as of now there are no requirements available. So just now we added Rally requirement provider and we given our project details. So if you click, there is a right side, there is a update requirements button. We need to refresh. So if you refresh, whatever the requirements available in Rally, all the requirements will be fetched into the Conformiq tool. So you can see here. Yeah. So all the requirements available, we have two requirements available in Rally. So one is valid login, another one is invalid login. So if you can see all the requirements from Rally came here. One is invalid login details and another one is login successful. So up to now we successfully completed the first phase. Successfully we imported requirements from the Rally. Same as if you have a requirements in Excel, and if you have a requirements in IBM doors, or else if you have requirements in QC ALM. So same like this we can import this requirement into the creator tool. Yeah. So after that what we need to do is, so for regarding these two requirements, so I need to develop the model now. So if you see there is a model folder. So here we have two types of diagrams. So one is structure diagram and another one is the activity diagram. Suppose if I open structure diagram, see, you can see whatever the widgets available in any web page or any type of domains. So using these widgets we can develop the structure diagram. So whatever the objects available in my particular application, so I need to replicate all the objects into my structure diagram. Suppose we have a requirement for net banking login. So for that what I will do is, here if you see there is a screen. If you have any mouse over clicks, or if you have a buttons, links, so all the widgets available here. Suppose if you have any form. Suppose if you are doing with the any interface testing or any testing, so we have a message provider. So if you want to test API testing, so we can give the web services testing, we can give the request message and system will give you the response. So using these widgets, so we can go with the web services testing also. So now I am going with the web-based application. So I am assuming that is a login page. Why? Because in that login page, so I have one username text box and another one is password text box. So for that what I will do is just I will create one form called credentials. So in that form, so I need to test username and password. So if you click on that form, so all the widgets available, like this is a button and link and label, drop down box, checkbox, radio button, and calendar. So based on the requirement, so I will develop my structure diagram. So now I am going to test with the two text boxes. One is username text box and the another one is the password text box. So what I will do is just I will create one username here. Just we need to name for that user. So now I successfully completed creating the username text box. So what I will do is just next I will create the password. Yeah. So here I created one username and password. So after successfully entering username and password, so I need to click the submit button. So I will take submit button. Yeah. So this is how we will develop the structure diagram. So after successfully developing the structure diagram, so after that we need to click save button. So if you click the save button, so whatever the keys available here in the structure diagram, all the keys will converted into the actions. So whenever you want to perform with, suppose if you want to perform with username and password, so we can call that particular action in activity diagram. So this is up to structure diagram. So another diagram in Conformiq is called activity diagram. So activity diagram is nothing but business flow of my application. See. Yeah. So this is my activity diagram. If you see for whatever the based on my application requirement and business logic, so I will develop the flow. First if you see, first I am entering my URL. After that I will navigate to the user sign up screen. So after that, in that user sign up screen, I am giving username and password. So after that I am clicking submit button. So after that here I am performing the decision. So based on my credentials, so I am navigating the tool to, if I give the invalid credential, it should land up with the error message, or if I give valid details, it should land up with the net banking home page. So after that I have developed all the requirements in my project. So this is how we will develop the test model. So if you see, there is a here, this is the login credentials form. So in that form, if you see, there is a username and password. So if you have a limited size of data, directly you can give here directly. Here I am going to test with username as netbank and password as invalid, and I'm going to test with password as netbank. Suppose if you have a huge number of test data available in Excel file or CSV file, so Conformiq will provide you that importing those Excel file into the tool, and it will generate the test cases for all the available test data. So this is how I will develop the model. And so after successfully developing the model, so what is the next step? I need to map my requirements to the model. So previously we successfully imported the requirements into the creator. So based on that requirements, I developed the model. So the next one is I need to map that flow, which requirement is covering which flow and which requirement is covering which flow. So if you see here, we have two flows. One is invalid login. This is login error message, and another one is valid login. So here I have available two requirements. So we can drag and drop that particular requirement. So this is the invalid login requirement. I am dropping to here. Yeah. So if the particular any test case will travels through from this flow, that invalid login details requirement will be covered. So if this is the requirement is covering for login successful. So I will drag and drop this requirement to here. So whatever the test cases will traverse through from the home page, all the test cases will cover under login successful requirement. So up to now there is no tick marks. If you save that particular model, so it will give this particular requirement is covered in by model or not. Successfully I developed model for these two requirements. So this is how we can check how many requirements we develop at the developing stage. So up to now I successfully developed the model. So after that, next step is I need to load my model into my engine. So what I will do is just here using a one single click, I will load the model. So if I click load the model, what Conformiq engine will try to do is it will try to analyze all the requirements available in my model and all the test targets and all the conditional branchings. So all the details will analyze while loading the model. Yeah, it is loading the model. It will take very less time to load the model. So after successfully loading the model, what we need to do is just we need to click the generate the test cases. Yeah, it is loading. So if you see in this test targets window, after successfully loading the model, it will display all the available test targets, how many requirements in my particular model and how many conditional branchings in my particular model. All the details will be displayed after successfully loading the model. So if I click generate the test cases, so while generating the test cases, Conformiq will try to cover all the available requirements in my model and all the available conditions in my model. Yeah, it is going to end. So that load model is going to end. It is up to now covered 70%. Yeah, it will take less than a couple of seconds, still more. So after that, here we have two buttons. One is generate test cases and another one is export test cases. Yeah, model loading progress is done. So after successfully loading the model, all the details will be displayed. Yeah, if you see here, there are some requirements. So in that flows, I have a total 21 requirements available in my entire project, and there are 16 conditional branching in my project. So if I click generate test cases, so what it will try to do is it will try to cover all these requirements and it will try to cover all these conditional branching. So while generating the test cases, we can see the percentage of my model also. Up to now 31% of the total model is covered. Some requirements is covered, so we can see all the details here, how many requirements covered up to now and how many conditional branchings covered up to now. So using this one, based on that, we can debug the model also. Yeah, so up to now 80% of the model is converted into test cases, and 18 out of 21, 18 requirements are covered. Now that 100% is covered. So I have a 21 requirements. Out of 21 requirements, all the requirements are covered, and I have a 16 conditional branching. Out of 16 conditions, all the conditions are covered. So after that, it will post all the test cases into test cases window. Yeah, you can see bottom left side. So whatever the test cases available for my project, all the test cases is displayed here. Yeah, if you see in my model, 18 test cases are generated for particular model. So if I expand this one, yeah, you can see there is a login error message. Just now we created that particular flow for invalid credentials. So this is how all the test cases are covered. Yeah, so if you see, if I select any particular test case, so yeah, there is a login error message sequence chart. If I double click here, you can see message sequence chart of my test case. So what tester is trying to do is, tester is trying to send some URL message URL to the system under test. So system under test will come up with the new user sign up screen. So after that, user is trying to enter some details here, and after that, tester is trying to click submit button. Application under test is come up with the error pop-up. Why? Because we are going with the invalid credentials. So you can see here particular invalid login details requirement is covered in this particular test case. same like if you want to see the test data also, you can see the test data here. The username is invalid and password is valid. So that's why, because of this invalid test data, it is going to the display error pop-up and particular invalid login details covered. So using this, if any flow is missing, so easily we can identify that particular flow, so we can modify the model based on the missing flows. Yeah, so as we said previously, there is one more important window. So here I selected login error message, and if you go to the model browser, so it will gives me the flow of particular test case. See, whatever the dark color flow, the particular test case is covering this bold color flow. One is this test case is covering entering URL, after that going to the sign up screen. So after that we are entering some credentials. So after that we are clicking submit button. So after that here I am doing the conditioning. So in that condition we need to mention at what time it should go to the yes flow, at what time, at what type of credentials it should go to the no flow. So this test case is regarding to the invalid credentials. So for that this flow is covering the login error pop-up. So this is how we can test that the particular test case is covering valid path or negative path. So yeah, we can debug entire model, and we can check the test cases also. So up to now we successfully imported the test case requirements from the Rally requirement provider. So after that I developed the model. After that I mapped the requirement to my model, and after that I generated the test cases. Now I have a requirement. So whatever the test cases generated for me from the model, I want to export these test cases into QC, HPALM. So for that we have provided some plugins here. So if you see, if you scripting backend, if you open this one, so whatever the available plugins here, all the plugins we can add and we can convert those test cases into available format. So now I am going with the QC ALM scripter. So what we need to do is just we need to check that particular QC ALM scripter and we need to click finish. So if you click finish, the QC ALM scripter will be added to the particular design configuration DC. And if you right click here, so we need to give the properties. Properties means URL of the particular your ALM and username of the particular person and password. So after that we need to give the domain and project. So these all are the credentials of my particular URL and my username and password and my domain and project. So quickly I will jump to the ALM. Yeah. If you see, this is the ALM. So in the test plan, I created one folder called lab. So I don't have any test cases in that lab. So what I want to do is, I want to import those generated test cases from Conformiq to this test plan lab folder. So what we need to do is just we need to navigate to this Conformiq, and if you see upload settings, so here we need to give the details of the particular test plan target folder. See, so there is a test plan target folder. So here I need to give the particular target folder project name. So I created project name as a lab. So that's why I given lab. Suppose if you want to add those test cases into test lab also, we have an option provided here. You need to check this add test to test lab, and you need to give the test lab target folder details. So now I am going with the, I want to add these test cases to only test plan target folder lab. So I will click finish. Yeah. So what I will do is just I will give a one single click. So if you export test cases, so Conformiq tool will try to connect with the particular URL of the ALM, and it will try to connect with the particular domain and project, and it will try to export this all available test cases into the particular test plan target folder. So if you see the status, you can see the particular uploading QCLM test into folder, particular folder. Yeah. So first test case is successfully uploading, exporting to the ALM. You can see the particular percentage also. After that, same as whatever the available test cases available in my model creator, all the test cases will be exported to the ALM. Now I will jump into the ALM and I will check. Previously there are no test cases in lab. Now I am importing those test cases and just I will refresh this one, and if I open lab, see previously there are no test cases. Now there are some folders created. So if you see there are two folders, one is current test and another one is the test case attic. So it means current test means, so for the first time you are creating the model and you generated the test cases. So at that time, whatever the test cases generated for the Conformiq, all the test cases will come to the current test. So after that, some requirements, I got a change request and I modified some test case, I modified some requirement, and again I generated the test cases. So the second time what happened is some test cases are obsolete test cases and some test case flow got changed. So at that time what it will try to do is, so again it will check with the existing test cases, and whatever the valid test cases, those test cases will come into the current test folder, and whatever the invalid or obsolete test cases, those test cases will come into the test case attic folder. So I will open current test. Yeah. If you see there is a login error message test case. So still not yet 100% is completed, or it will complete in some time. So as of now some test cases are successfully imported into the ALM. If you see login error message, so whatever the test steps, all the test steps will come to the here. The filling the, we are entering invalid in username text box, netband. After that click submit button, application displays with the pop-up message. Same as, so whatever the test cases, test design steps you want, all the design steps will come into the ALM. So using a single click, I am trying to export all available test cases into the ALM. Yeah, it is going to complete. Almost all the test cases are successfully exported to the ALM. So up to now, I successfully imported requirements from the Rally and generated and developed the model and mapped those requirements and generated the test cases and exported those test cases into the application lifecycle management requirement tool. Yeah. Now test rendering is done. If you go to the ALM and if you refresh again, so all the test cases available in my model, all the test cases will came here. All the 18 test cases available here. Yeah. So now successfully I exported those test cases into ALM as a manual test cases. So now I want to, so now I got a change request. So Conformiq tool will provide a quick change mechanism and change analysis. And now let us see how Conformiq will gives you the best solution for the test case analysis and everything. Yeah. So now I got a change request. Just assume that we got a change request. So previously we have a one username and password. Now in this page only I got a change request. I need to test with the account name. Yeah. This new requirement got added and I need to test this account name also. So what I will do is just I will go to the SD diagram and I will change the structure to the SD diagram. Yeah. Now what I will do is just I will navigate to the activity diagram. So in that activity diagram, so I need to give the value. So if you see previously there are username and password. Now one new field got added which is account name. Just I am entering it as the ABC. So now I want to see the impact analysis of this requirement. So why? Because new requirement got added and I want to do the impact analysis. because of this new requirement, how many test cases are affected, how many test cases are obsolete test cases after this change request. So now we will see. So what I will do is this particular request is going through from the all the valid test cases and all the invalid test cases. That's why the Conformiq tool should do the impact analysis based on the particular requirement. So quickly I will go to the test design perspective, and again I will load the model. Why? Because I changed my model based on the change request. I added one account name, and again I given the data for the particular account name, and I save the model. Now I want to compare the present change request with the existing model. So for that purpose only we need to do the again same process. Again I need to load the model. Again I need to generate the test cases. So after successfully generating the test cases for the new model, then Conformiq tool provides you the impact analysis. How many test cases are modified and how many test cases are obsolete test cases. So we got a change request for the login page. So for that reason, every test case should be affected. Why? Because every test case is traversing through from the login page. So Conformiq tool should provide you the all the test cases should be affected. We'll see how tool will analyze the impact of the particular requirement. Yep. So it is going to end the load model progress. So same as previous. So while loading the new model also, it will analyze the whatever the requirements, new requirements, and whatever the new test steps added to the particular model, and whatever the new conditional branching added to the model. So all the details will be analyzed while loading the model into the engine. Yeah. So load modeling is done. So after that, what we need to do is just we need to click the generate test cases. Yeah. So I click the generate test cases. So while generating the test cases, so it will compare with the existing test cases. So whatever the test cases are previously generated, and whatever the test cases are currently generated based on the change request, and it will gives you the impact analysis. Again, it is trying to cover all the requirements, and it will trying to cover all the conditional branching and everything. It will do the same process what it does for the first time. It is test generation is going to complete. Up to now 96% is completed. Yeah, so you can see again 100% is completed. So out of 21 requirements are covered. So we can see the impact analysis in the same test cases window. Yeah, so it will gives you the impact analysis in test cases window. Yeah. If you double click here, yes, now you can see there is a red mark test cases. So why because of the red mark? Because these test cases are now obsolete test cases are no longer valid. Why? Because these are the test cases previously generated. So after that we got a change request and we did some changes to the login page. So all the test cases are previously traversing from the login page. That's why every test case should be affected. So these all 18 test cases are affected and new 18 test cases are generated. So this is how Conformiq will gives you the very quick impact analysis of the change request. So after that, so based on the requirements also, suppose if you want to generate the test cases for only particular requirement, so you can block that particular requirement here. Suppose I don't want to generate the test cases for account modifier requirement. So what you will do is just you will click the block the requirement, and Conformiq, if you click the generate test cases, Conformiq will not generate the test cases for the account modifier. So this type of feature will helps you for the regression testing. So in that regression testing, we will not going to test everything in as well as progression testing. So we will test the only main areas. So at that time we will select the particular requirements and we will go with the generating the test cases. Yeah. So yeah. So up to now we imported the requirements from the Rally and generated the test cases and exported those test cases into ALM, and we have seen the impact analysis. How Conformiq tool will provide you the good impact analysis solution. So using this Conformiq, we can quickly see the impact analysis, and we can quickly find out how many test cases are obsolete test cases, how many test cases are new test cases, how many test cases are invalid test cases. So now that my final point is that I want to going with the automated Selenium execution. So what I want to do is I want to convert these test cases generated from Conformiq tool to the test scripts. From that I need to execute the particular test scripts. So for that we have provided one scripter. Yeah, if you see there is a CTA XML scripter. If you right click on that scripter and if you go for the properties, so it will ask for the automation configuration. There is a window called automation configuration. So in this window we need to select whether you want to go with the QTP execution or whether you want to go with the Selenium. So now I want to convert my all the test cases into Selenium. So I will click OK. So if you click OK, so it will give you the after selecting the Selenium, we need to click the export test cases. So if you click export test cases, it will give you the one CTA XML file. So using that file, what we need to do is just we need to import that CTA XML file. So we have a one more tab provider here called Conformiq test automation. So in this, what I will do is just 1 second. Whatever the CTA XML file generated from the previous model, I will import that model into the transformer project. Yeah, just I will open. Yeah. So what you need to do is just whatever the CTA XML file generated from the CTA XML scripter, what we need to do is just we need to import that CTA XML file and it will give you the test suite for you. So yeah, this it is opening. So whatever the test cases available in my particular project, all the test cases will come to here. So if you see there is a import option here. So if you see import, there is a import CTA test suites. So what you need to do is just we need to select the import CTA test suite and we need to give the particular path of the XML file. So after that we need to click finish. So if you click finish, what it will do is, so it will create a one test suite folder here. So in this test suite folder, this is the project name. Under project name, these all are the test case names. So in my model, I have the 18 test cases. Now all the 18 test cases are converted into the automated test scripts. So if you see, these all are the test scripts and test cases available in my automation project. So if you open any test script, see, these all are the keywords available in particular test case. So Conformiq, what it will try to do is, while importing the test cases from the model, so it will try to analyze those keywords and it will try to convert those keywords into the automated test scripts. So what I am trying to do is, first I am trying to send the URL message. So after that I need to come up with an user sign up screen. So in that I am trying to do the username and password. So after that click submit button. So here we are not doing any scripting here. So we need to do is just we need to develop the model based on the requirement. So after a single button of a click, the tool will itself convert those all the manual test cases into the automated test scripts. what we need to do is just we need to make sure that the particular object property is matched based on the real-time application. Now I will see. See, if you go for the fill user from keyword, double click, yeah. See. So based on the model, in the model I developed one username text box and one password text box. So based on the model only, these parameters will be created. No need to do anything. Whatever the test data you given in the model, entire test data will come into the automated project and it will execute. If you see, there are some steps here. If you go to the description, so you can see the particular description. What you are trying to do is in this particular step. If you go for the Selenium, here you can see. So this is the script generated from the model itself. So this is a one keyword driven framework. So what Conformiq will try to do is, so based on the actions performing in the model only, so it will try to analyze all the actions and it will try to convert those actions into the Selenium action. If you see, these are the two text boxes. For two text boxes, what we are trying to do is we need to send some text to the in text box. So for that we will use the type. So here two things what we need to do is just we need to modify these two values. One is locator type and the other one is the object property name. So if you see in any Selenium execution, so we have these type of locator types. One is XPath, ID, name, tag name, CSS selector, or link text or anything. So what we need to do is, so we need to take any of the locator type here, name. So and we need to go to the application under test. So using Firebug or Firepath, so we need to get that particular name of the object and we need to change this particular name of the object. So these are the only two things we need to do after successfully importing XML into the automation project. So after that, just we will go to the execution. Same as name also. So here I am going with the locator type name. So that particular locator password name locator type is value is upass. So same as we provided some functions here, all the action. So after successfully entering username password, I need to wait for some 4 seconds. So there is a wait for duration action type here. So what it will try to do is it will wait for the 4 seconds. Yeah. So next I will go with another keyword, and if you see there is a click submit button. If I open that particular keyword, if I go to the Selenium tab, yeah. So if you see this time also I am going with the locator type name. Suppose if you want to go with the XPath, what you need to do is just you need to check this, you need to select the XPath and you need to give the XPath value here. So this is the locator type, the particular locator type value we need to give in the object column. So here I am going with the name, a particular object locator type name equals to submit. So this is the button, that's why I am going with the click action. So the Conformiq will by default analyze all the keywords available in model and it will try to convert those keywords into the actions here. Yeah. Same for after that I need to verify the net banking homepage. After that I need to click credit card issues hyperlink. Same, I need to verify, I need to fill the details. So these are the keywords. This is the flow of my particular test case. So if you see there is a test data available here. If you see there is a URL test data and this is the username and password. If you see username netbank, password netbank. So I didn't given any details here. So whatever the details we entered in the model while developing the model, so based on the test data, the test cases will be created and those test cases will convert into the automated test scripts. Suppose if you don't want to execute with this username and password, so directly you can change the values here. So these values is directly parameterized to the particular keyword. Suppose if you want to go with the multiple test data, you want to execute with the different types of test data. So for that we have provided add data set. So if you click add data set, one more data set will be added here. You need to give the particular data set name, and same as default set, one more column will be added here, so you can execute with multiple test data here. Yeah. So after that, suppose here if you go, this is the test suite name here, net banking. So if you open the test suite, there is a Selenium settings. So in that Selenium settings, if you expand, all the test cases will be displayed here. Just 1 second. See, these all are the available test cases in my test suite. So we have some tags provided here. One is a run tag, and Firefox and Chrome and IA. So whatever the test case you want to run, so you can check that particular checkbox, and what the test case you don't want to run, you can uncheck that particular test case. Today session I am going to execute credit card issued successfully. That's why I checked this particular test case, and I want to execute this test case with the Chrome browser. Yeah. So we have provided 3 browsers.
These are actually the test names.
Yeah, these are the test cases names. So what are the test case names available in this particular test suite? All the test cases will comes to here.
Is there any way to just kind of aggregate the test cases based on the requirement? If I would just want to test like a functionality based on the requirement versus, because I'm going to have multiple test cases per requirement.
Yeah, so what we need to do is, while generating the test cases in the model, so we have a design configuration. So based on the requirement also, we can develop the test, we can generate the test cases for requirement types. So there we need to do those categorization, then we need to import those test cases to in this automation project. Then it can be categorized.
Okay, thank you.
And Peter, if we want to cover that when this is finished, if that we have time, we can go back. There's a number of ways to select by priority or turn things on and off so you only look at certain areas. There's a variety of ways to target your generation of test cases. And also, I mean, these are automatically generated names, but these are either can be renamed manually, or actually you have input into how these names can be set. So a lot of different options are available that we don't always have time to get into, and some of them get into the nitty-gritty details, but there's a huge amount of flexibility here.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. Suppose if you want to go with the parallel execution, suppose you want to, this is the test case, you want to execute with the 3 browsers at a time. So we have a provided option. If you want to go with the parallel execution, you can check that particular checkboxes, which browser you want to test. So using that you can test. Now I am going with this test case with the Chrome browser. Just I will save these settings and I will navigate to the, this is the test case description. What I will do is, here we have provided one run button here. So if you click run, it will ask for the execution platform. Which execution platform you want to run. Why? Because today we are going with the Selenium execution platform, and I selected Selenium. After that we need to select next. So after that we need to click the run. So if you click the run, what Conformiq tool will try to do is, it will try to open the Chrome browser and it will try to pass the URL to the browser, and after that it will try to enter those details here. See,
where's the infrastructure that this is running on? Where's the Selenium client? Is that part of the offering?
Sorry, your voice is tracking.
Can you hear me?
Yes, now I can hear you. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm kind of, I should look for better breakpoints. My question is, where are these? I saw you choose the configuration. Is that part of the offering? The Selenium clients are part of the offering. So that's the Conformiq infrastructure that it's running on.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So we need to tell the Conformiq tool to which platform it needs to execute it. As of now, that Selenium framework is tightly integrated with the tool itself. Suppose if you are going with the QTP execution, so what Conformiq will try to do is it will try to invoke the QTP application. From QTP application, the execution will be done. So whereas Selenium execution, the Conformiq tool itself, it will do the execution. Why? Because that Selenium is provided lot of flexibility to do the execution. So this is the Eclipse environment also.
And Peter, just to maybe net this out, we embed Selenium in Transformer. It comes with the tool.
Okay.
HP UFT obviously is a third-party tool that we tightly couple with, but you need a UFT license if you choose to use that product.
Yeah, yeah. I think I mean, it's certainly of interest. You know, is the Selenium piece.
Sure.
So, and I apologize because I'm a little late. This is all a SaaS offering, right? You guys host all aspects of this.
When you talk about software as a service, what we really do is sell licenses.
Okay, but we don't have any local installs. This is all your infrastructure.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, well, you can install it locally. You can install it on a server. I mean, we can discuss that, but we don't know. You don't necessarily run this on our licenses on our platforms. These would be on your platforms.
Okay.
In your development center, where you protect it, everything is inside your firewall for this.
Okay. Okay. I understand.
Yeah. So while executing the script, the Conformiq tool try to connect with the system under test, and it will try to execute, and it will try to interact with all the objects, and it will try to execute the script. So after successfully executing the script, the result will be displayed. If you see, this is the result. That particular project name is a net banking transformer, and that particular how many number of test cases we executed. So I have only executed one test case. So out of one test case is passed. Now my pass percentage is 100%. You can see the particular diagrammatical implementation, and also you can see the timestamp at what time the particular test case is executed. So after that, this is the summary of my test case. So this is my test case name. The test case name is the credit card issued successfully. So you can see that there are 3 browsers. So it will display in the summary in which browser you have executed. So you can see these are the Firefox and Internet Explorer I skipped, and I only executed with the Chrome browser. You can see that there is a green mark tick for the Chrome browser. If you click the Chrome browser, so it will give you the detailed step-by-step execution details. So if you see, what I'm trying to do is, first step is open browser, that Chrome, step description is Chrome, the result is pass, and it means the Chrome browser is successfully open. So after that, what we are trying to, the particular step means receive NetBank URL. So what we are trying to do is, we are trying to send this URL to the application. So this application also, this URL also successfully sent to the application. This step is also passed. So what is the next step? There is a new user sign up verify screen. So in that verify screen, I am trying to verify one object. So that is the object also fine. That particular step is passed. So this is how we can see how many steps are passed and how many steps are failed. So it will give you a clear description, and it will give you the test data also. You can see. So there is some data here, SB34, and there is a issue date column in this text box. I am trying to send this test data, and this particular step is also passed. So after that, you can see how many steps are passed, how many test cases are failed. So this is the overall execution for using Selenium. So it will give you the detailed report, and one of the main advantages is so you can do the parallel execution, and you can do the single browser execution also. Suppose if you want to test all the 18 test cases at a time, so what we need to do is just we need to select all the 18 test cases in test suite settings, and we can go for the execution. So it will reduce the execution time, and it will give you the more benefits to you regarding to the execution.
Additionally, we do support Jenkins, so if you want to use that mechanism to kick off your testing, that is also supported. And one thing I didn't hear mentioned is that we do capture the screen so that you have that information. that's a question that many people ask, and so yeah, that is captured.
Suppose if you are going with the QTP execution, so in the QTP execution we need object details for execution. So without object details we cannot execute those QTP scripts. So for that we have provided object repository here. So in this object repository we have a provider import. So we can import that particular scripts. Suppose if you have a QTP object repository, so you can import that object repository here and we can match those object repository property details to the particular keyword. Same as Selenium, same as Gherkin and everything. Yeah. Yeah, I'm done. So as of now, we have seen from getting the requirements from the rally and generating that, developing the model, mapping those requirements to the model, and generating the test cases and exporting those test cases into HPQC ALM. So after that, successfully exported those test cases into Selenium format. So I imported those Selenium CT.xml file into the automation project. So after that, I modified the property names based on the locator types in the application under test, and I did the execution. So this is how we covered today lab end-to-end automation testing using Conformiq.
Thank you, Harish. I just want to mention one thing in the process, the overall process flow. We use modeling, the graphical representation of the application, or the requirements, or the user stories. The key there we found is that visually seeing the flow of the application dramatically reduces
Sorry, Clark, we cannot hear your voice.
I think it just came back. Yeah. Unless he hung up.
You just wish.
Yeah, no.
Okay, sorry about
you just, that. Yeah. No worries. You had just gotten into the modeling. Talking about the virtues of modeling and the visualization of the requirements.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, even University of Southern California did a study that said up to 50% of defects can be found by just visualizing the requirements. And so when you're on a tight schedule like you would with Agile in particular, you have to make sure that you're starting off on the right foot. It makes no sense to start development and hope you're right and then circle back later with the stakeholder or the BA to see if you did it right. I mean, we don't want to test out this. We want to design in correctness. And so one of the keys is quickly putting this model together and making it part of your process flow, your development flow, so that there's a buy-in by the group. You know, there's a consensus that yes, this is right. Oh, maybe we forgot a negative path when there's an error because the data was entered incorrectly or something like that. Those are the things you tend to find later, and we know later is a big problem. And so we want to be able to identify that up front and make no errors in the development as well as in the testing process. And obviously, testing is then immediately available on code drop. So the entire process is parallelized so that you can do both design and test during these short sprints. But I wanted to make sure that people thought about that as a key capability that's needed for to achieve good development and testing in a short time, and not thinking it's an extra step that needs to be added.
Yeah, no, it's a very valid, very good point. Do you envision this in the hands of that modeling in the hands of a tester or of a business analyst?
Usually it's a tester because there needs to be test points in. But I think that the flow of the application It could be a two-step process. The business analyst could put in the high-level flow and say, this is the way we want the application to work. This is the way the screens work. This is the information. But there needs to be test points put in, because you want to say, where do I want to test this? I mean, you could do an uber simple model and just put, this is the A comes in at the front end and B comes in at the back end, yes or no. But obviously it doesn't give you a lot of information. So you want to have the test points in your model so that the tool generates tests against those. Think of those as being kind of signposts that the tool is going to look for to make sure that they're covered. So I think that the model could be done by either person, but the tester needs to be involved to make sure that that detail is included. Or if the tester does it, then it needs to be circulated back to the BA for a peer review to make sure that the application is flowing as expected. And that's kind of depends on your project, your people. That's an individual kind of decision. But both types of information.
And this tool is Can you like I don't know if you can clarify. I'm not looking for competitive information, but do you have users of Rally that have this tool implemented in an agile development environment?
Yes. Agile is, I'm going to put in quotes because nobody's quite the same.
Understood. Yeah. No, that's one of the challenges. Is this modeling notion is how you actually take the statements of business value, which is a user story. And another critical aspect, I mean, the import of the requirements, I mean, our user stories have the statement of the business value as well as the acceptance criteria. And
we will generate the expected correct results, because you've actually shown within the model the way the process is supposed to work, both positive and negative. So it will generate good and bad data to test against that to make sure that you achieve those results, and then the execution matches against them. And I think that one of the keys here is that it does give people the flexibility to kind of create their own process flow, because it establishes this platform. If you're going to use something very BDD-ish with Gherkin, we'll feed that. If not, you can develop your own models, or you could reverse engineer from existing tests into models. We found that there's some massaging that's needed, if you will, to make those good models, some refactoring. But all this is very useful, because one of the keys here is that you want speed. And we think about this, and as I listen to Harish, I think about this as a singular flow. We've created a product and we're testing it. But the issue is that you're always changing it. And you're coming back, and whether it's a last-minute addition to the application that you need to add in the last day, or test in the last day because development was late, or it's an iterative process like an agile development, or somebody found a bug and they need to fix it at the last minute. But the point is that you need to be able to make changes very quickly, and model changes are orders of magnitude simpler than going back in and changing the test cases themselves, because you have to find which ones they are and what do they impact, and is the data still valid. Trying to change test cases or update test cases in a very fast way, and know that you've got good coverage, you've done the right thing, is almost impossible. And so with modeling, it becomes very straightforward to do that. You just change the model, because we're modeling the system. We're not modeling the tests. We're not modeling the external view. Maybe it's just, this is the way the system works. And you change it, and the tool takes care of everything else. And so that makes it fast enough and repeatable enough to be able to do this on an ongoing basis which I think is really something that we don't tend to think about, but it's really critical. How often do you make changes, planned and unplanned? And that makes a big difference.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's a recurring problem is managing the regression stack. You know, in a best case scenario, it takes too long to execute. And in addition to that, no one can really reflect what their level of coverage is because they've lost track, right? There's a tremendous amount of redundancy.
Yep.
And it's hard to manage that on a especially on a sprinting basis.
And so, also in regression, I've been told that after multiple revisions, up to 40% of the regression pack is no longer useful. But of course, nobody knows which ones those are. So everybody just keeps testing, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. One of the key benefits here is that with the impact analysis, you know exactly which tests are still valid, and you take those forward to execution or to your regression pack. And the ones that are no longer valid, you can park in your test management product, but keep it as a legacy, not as a current. And
sure,
if you're looking at doing automation during sprints, it's good to know which ones are new, because you might just say, I want to test those immediately. I just want to test the new ones. And then I'll get to the other ones that we've already tested, but I want to make sure in the regression that they're all rerun. So this gives you the option to know what you want to test and selectively automate those executions.
Yep.
I mean, it puts you in control right now. I mean, we don't have enough visibility today in manual to really know what we're covering and what we're not, and that's one of the lingering problems with today's manual process. I mean, we really need to move from manual, I'll call that analog, to digital. We have to go to digital to make this fast enough, and to make that transformation, you need a tool that supports the transformation. And most of the tools that we're dealing with today, most of the discussions on DevOps, it all comes back to manual steps. And then we fall back to the old way. And that's not a way forward.
No. No, and kind of midway through, I have another question. There was a reference made to the services and kind of a service level testing.
Harish, you want to address that?
Yes. So we provide the service level testing also. Suppose if you have any WSDL files and any type of files, so we have a provision to import those WSDL files, and Conformiq will gives you the model, and also it will gives you the test scripts also. So we have provided one script of Parasoft scripter. So it will convert all the scripts into web services scripts, and using Parasoft tool, so we can execute those particular test scripts.
So it could be Parasoft, could be SOAP UI, depending on what your APIs are in your web services. This is a tool that can import.
So yeah,
Sorry, Peter.
Yeah, so most of our protocols are REST. Most of our services are REST, and we actually use the CA service virtualization tool.
Okay. I don't see any problem with linking into that. Obviously, we link to other tools, so I don't see any issue. We already work with Rally, so that we have a relationship as a technology partner with CA. So if that's
I think the more indicative was it seems that you're actually testing the service with Selenium. Is that a true statement?
Harish, you want to talk to what you've demonstrated?
So what I demonstrate today?
Yeah, no, my question was for the service testing, when you said you generate the script, so to test those services, you're generating Selenium scripts.
No, it will not generate the Selenium script, so it will give you the SOAP UI or Parasoft scripts. Okay. So what we try to do is, so if what in the model, what we need to do is just we need to give what is the request we are sending to the service and what is the response we are getting from those. So based on that, the tool will analyze those requests and responses, and it will give the scripts for you, Just we need to copy those scripts into the SOAP UI tool, and we need to execute the scripts from there, not from the
Okay.
Conformiq tool. It will
Okay.
provide you the scripts only.
And just to make that a little clearer, when Conformiq generates the test scripts, they can exit from Conformiq. Now, if you're using Transformer, they stay within the tool. But if you're to go to a third-party product, like Parasoft tool, that is exported in source code so that you can use it independently in your execution environment.
Okay.
And in terms of execution, we can't do any more than what Selenium and any of the other execution tools support.
Got it.
But the good news is they keep extending the capabilities. The tools keep getting better, and so we can continue to expand on that. One of the benefits here is that with this process, if you're looking at testing in Selenium, or you're in UFT and you want to move to Selenium, or you want to move to test mobile applications, or the next best execution tool comes along, it's real easy because the test cases themselves are actually internal to Conformiq in a meta format. And all we'd really do is use a scripter to convert those internally into the format and language that you need for a particular execution tool. And that's why it's so flexible to link to things that, virtually anything out there.
Yeah.
So it gives you flexibility in going forward to transition if and when that happens. Or different groups to use the same process, and yet they use other tools that are different for their particular, one's doing a GUI test, the other's doing APIs. They can still use a consistent process, and then we talk about GUI testing, but we show this as a demo, but you actually can do back-end processing with access to data. One of our largest users does no GUI-based testing. It's all back office stuff. And so there's ability to very easily add custom libraries so that you can handle virtually anything, mainframe testing, you name it.
Interesting. Just on a high level, so then I'm, just so I kind of understand the ecosystem, what would an implementation like this look like for us? If we were, had multiple departments, so it sounds like we're standing up kind of a centralized facility, and we're installing licenses locally?
Could be. There's two ways to think about that, Peter, and we can certainly get into a more detailed discussion offline. But you really have it's a client-server architecture. You can put both of those on an individual desktop or a laptop, whatever, or you could separate them out so that they are client and server. And the idea then is that the server could support multiple users. One per license, but you could have multiple licenses, and so you could support multiple users off of that server. That make sense?
Yeah, I believe so. So it sounds like there is, in fact, a client, like a designer. Is it a designer component that gets installed on a client?
It's actually the engine itself can be on the client if you want it. Otherwise, the engine could be on the server with the front end on the client, or you could put both of them on the client and server on the local machine. What we do technically, to get into this, I'll bore people here, but we actually license this interface that you're looking at now, this cockpit.
Yeah.
This is the driver. The actual engine, when you say generate test cases, the engine can be local, or the engine could be on a multi-blade server, and it would automatically split the model into n different segments based on the number of computational cores you have, and then bring it back. And it does it in a very deterministic way, which is a frankly a real bitch. But so you don't necessarily need that because most models aren't enormous. You want to create models that are kind of easily understood and easily updated. So you tend to create models more along the lines of functionality than on complete architecture, much like you do testing today. But again, that's best practices, things that we discuss with each user to what makes most sense for their actual use and deployment.
Yeah. All right.
So,
well,
so there's flexibility in how you set that up, and you can mix and match. So it's kind of a depends on the situation you have and how broadly you want to deploy it, and do you break it up by projects, or do you have a kind of a higher level of organization that can share? We can go through all that kind of flexibility. And then if you have offshore,
Okay.
onshore, we can talk about that too.
Yeah. All right. Let me. This is a lot to digest.
Usually, people's heads explode about the first 30 or 40 minutes. So you've done well.
Yeah. Well, I've been exposed to the model-based notion, and everyone's always we've always been in search of a tool that accelerates and kind of levels the skill sets for generating automation. So yeah. I think I see an opportunity here. I want to circle back around with Elena and Mark and talk about just get our thoughts together collectively so we could just make this as efficient as possible for you guys.
Yeah, please do. I mean, we're happy to continue to answer questions. But we want to get to that tipping point where you have all the important questions asked already and understood.
Yeah. Yep.
So please do, and then get back to us. I see Elena's on. Other folks, Deepa, I saw Jamie on earlier. Any other questions? We're running just a few minutes over. Hopefully some of those questions from Peter were useful for you too. Anybody else have any questions before we finish up today? I'm going to drag it out of you. Elena? No? Deepa? No? Okay. Well, Peter, if you want to ask in their stead, please. Otherwise, discuss it internally. Get back to me. Let's look at next step for what we can do to answer any additional questions or create a proposal to work with you.
Yeah, that sounds great. And thanks very much for the attention today. Hope I didn't steer the boat my way.
Well, yeah, it's not saying it's a bad way.
Yeah. No, it's very helpful. Very helpful.
No problem. Those were excellent questions, and I thank everybody for being on. So thanks, everybody.
Thanks
really appreciate your interest. Thank you, Deepa. I got your thank you note. So please get back to us. Anybody has questions, Peter, you know how to reach me. But others, if they don't, get a hold of Stacy, and we'll get you answers to all your questions, and go step by step. We'll peel the onion to get to where we need to be. So Thank you all. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, everybody.
Have a great day.
Great.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye.